Thank you all so much for joining us today for our Commuter Workshop. This is the first workshop in a series of workshops that we're going to host with regards to sustainability. So the point of us doing our workshops are to help to engage our employees and make sure that you guys are aware of all the opportunities that you have to improve your on-job and at-home environment in terms of health, in terms of safety, in terms of resilience, and sustainability. So we present our Commuter Workshop. So what's the point of commuting, and why is it so important, and why do we as an organization even care about sharing the different options that we have and commuter diversity in general? From the city of Pittsburgh, we look at it from three different standpoints. You have the city standpoint because we are the city of Pittsburgh, so we have a broader range of people that we have to appeal to. So commuting is important for us as a regional issue because it reduces traffic congestion. It supports economic development and opportunities by allowing us to make the opportunities available for other people to join the workforce. It improves residents' access and mobility to our services that we provide. It increases public safety. So people who maybe can't drive or shouldn't drive have other options that they can take. It allows us to increase access routes. So if people have an emergency and need to get out of the city for whatever reason, there's a multitude of ways that they can do so. And it also improves safety by reducing stress on employees. So if you're not stressed out coming to work, or you don't have road rage, or if you do have road rage, you have some other options that you can take to help to reduce that stress, which makes it safer for everybody who's on the road. It improves air quality, land use, and water quality by reducing our dependency on fossil fuels and energy. And it reduces our carbon emissions. As an employer, there's also some other advantages. It allows us as an employer to recruit and retain employees from different areas throughout the region. It supports regional economic development. So people have the opportunity to have a job with our organization as a city of Pittsburgh because there's different ways that you can access us and you can connect to us. It increases customer access, goods, and services. So you're able to come to the city and to get the services you need to report back on the things that you need to your family and take those resources with you. And it reduces, again, our environmental impact, and it also helps us to save money because we're able to make better decisions about how our employees are able to access our organization. And as an employee, it has a number of benefits as well. It saves you money. It's very expensive to park downtown. Some of our employees do have the opportunity to park for free, but for the vast majority of us, especially us who work in the downtown area, we pay a lot for parking, and some people even for parking tickets. So you're able to save money on that. It helps to decrease the wear and tear on your vehicle as well. Saves on gas, saves on the occasional accident or scratch or dent that might happen to your car. Again, it reduces stress. You're able to, in some cases, if you're van pooling or if you're taking the bus, you can help to increase your productivity. You can text all you want. You can read a book versus driving and texting, which is extremely dangerous. It improves access to services and employment opportunities. So not only are you able to access your workplace, but you can also access a lot of other places by having a really well-connected system of commuting. And it increases your physical fitness. So if you're a person like me who doesn't get a lot of time and who always feels like I'm too busy to exercise or get to the gym, I take the bus, which means I have to walk to my bus stop. I have to walk from my bus stop, to the actual facility. So it's at least getting me 20 minutes of exercise that I probably otherwise would not get. Earlier this year, we did a commuter survey, and it was the first commuter survey that we've done in decades. And these are the results of that commuter survey, and I'm just going to give you the abbreviated version of it. We had over 300 people respond to this survey, which for us is a really good. It's about 10% of our employee base, which is about 3,000 individuals that work for the city of Pittsburgh as an organization. And we were able to develop this baseline, which of course might be a little skewed because, again, it's only 10% of our entire workforce. But of the people who responded to that, you can see that 51% were female, 47% were male, and about 2% decided that they didn't want to answer either way. But it's still pretty good because we have a good representation half and half in terms of the genders. We have a decent age spread here. The majority of our employees that responded were 45 or above, but we have a pretty decent middle range here between the 25 to 44 age range, and we have our younger employees too who who were able to correspond with us and let us know how they were feeling about their daily commute to work, from work, and during their work day. The average commute time in the city of Pittsburgh for people accessing the different sites, which aren't necessarily the city-county building, is about 15 minutes. And I think that's a pretty accurate. I know myself, I come from the East End, I take the busway, and it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes as well. And of the people who responded to the survey, the majority of our employers are coming from the East End. So these are some important demographic information for us as an employer because it helps us to make decisions about where we're going to allocate resources, which is why responding to things like our commuter survey is so important. And we're probably going to do another one. So if you didn't have the opportunity to respond this first go-around, we do hope that you'll participate and respond in the next go-around. Going further, you're able to see that 70% of our employees are pretty satisfied with the way that they commute. So whether you're van pooling, biking, busing, whatever, we have a good portion of our employee base that are really happy with the way that they get to work. But then we have 30% who wish that they could change. For whatever reason, they want to. Maybe it's just not the most effective way to work, and we're glad that you guys are joining us here because you probably fall into some portion of that 30% who either wants to know what your options are to see if it's even possible to change, or maybe you are one of the people who are satisfied with your commute, but but there might be some other things here that will enlighten you. So we hope that you enjoy our presentation. We also see that 70% of our employee base actually cares about the environment, and they're picking more energy efficient vehicles, or they're picking better ways to work that will reduce our carbon impact. And we also see some other important factors like who is interested in biking to work. Of the people, that 30% who said that they were interested in a change, 57% of those people, which is half of that pool, is interested in possibly learning how to bike to work. 20% would like to carpool, 15% would bus, and 8% are interested in walking. Some of the other aspects of the survey that we see, 70% of the employees who actually purchase a bus pass or use the Connect card aren't actually taking advantage of the employee benefits that we have. So for whatever reason that may be, we're hoping that this will help those employees to either be able to take advantage of that benefit or maybe use Connect card more effectively in general. So we have a number of people who are with us today. Our presenters are Christy Chen, who is an intern with us through the Office of Sustainability. We have Aaron Potts, who is part of the Pittsburgh Bike Share, which is a new program in the city of Pittsburgh. So if you've seen all the rentable bike stations that have popped up all over the city and you're interested on how to get on those and how to rent them, she's your girl. She's going to help you guys figure that out. We have Deborah Skillings from the Port Authority, Lisa Kay and Joanna from Commute Info, and they are sort of our commuting gurus who can talk about safe rides home and different ways to do carpool and setting up carpooling. We have Aaron Cooper from Zipcar, and we also have Levon from the City of Pittsburgh's Personnel Office to inform us about our employee benefits. Thank you so much. Christy?
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to do a brief presentation on how to use Lyft and Uber. So how many of you have used either Lyft or Uber before? Let's get a show of hands. Okay, so this presentation is not really for you guys because you already know how to use them. But for the rest of you, you'll get a brief description on how to use these. So this is the Lyft app on iPhone. If you go to the App Store, you can type in Lyft, and then this is the page that will pop up. So both Lyft and Uber are rideshare programs. They kind of work like taxis. You can use the mobile apps on your phone to request a car to any destination that you're at, and they will come and pick you up. So this is what the app page looks like, and you can download it, and they're both free. So when you open the Lyft app, this is the page on the left that will pop up, and the blue balloon is your current location. So if you press Request Lyft on the bottom, the closest car to you will accept your request and then will come pick you up at your location. And it also displays how far away they are and how long it takes for them to get there. And then this is another option that you can take. So you can either request a regular Uber, regular Lyft, which is just like a small-sized car, Or if you have more people, you can request a Lyft Plus, which is on the right. As you can see, it seats more people and there's a higher premium. This is the home page when you open the Lyft app. If you tap on the left, there's these different options. And then you can also link it to your Facebook page. So this is my Facebook page because I use Lyft. And then you can edit these biographies. This is just the default. And then also on the left with the gift box where it says free rides, that's where you can put in codes and promotions and things like that. Now we have the Uber app. It's basically the same idea and the same concept. The apps work very similarly. This is also in the App Store. You can just open it and type in Uber. And one additional feature is that Uber now offers the Apple Watch app. So when you open the Uber app, after you register and everything, on the left side, that's the page that will pop up. And it's the same idea. The green balloon shows your current location. And then you can type in your destination and request the regular Uber or the Uber XL, which is the larger car, like the Lyft Plus. And then once you tap the request button, this page will show up on the right side, and it will show you your arrival time after it loads and everything. This is the loading page. One additional feature that I noticed that Uber has that Lyft doesn't have is the trip history page. So within the app, you can open the left side tab, which is the same as the Lyft app, except it has a trip history option. So it shows you all the trips that you've taken and at what time and so on. So this is an example. And then you can also connect this to your personal page and everything. So this is basically how these apps work. And once you've taken the ride, once you get to your destination, the payment page will pop up, and then you can it's very self-explanatory. You can just press the pay button, and then you can rate the drivers depending on their performance and how you like them. So that's about it. That's Lyft and Uber.
So the one good thing about Lyft and Uber is that they are national organizations. So once you have the app, whether you're here or a couple of weeks ago, I was in DC. I Ubered all over DC. It's a lot cheaper than a taxi. And it's also really nice because you can get an estimation of what your cost is going to be before you actually even get in and take one of the Ubers or Lyft. And it's a great option for those of you who walk or who bike, who maybe need an emergency ride home for whatever reason. You can just pop it in and you can Uber and you can Lyft your way to Pittsburgh to your job, your work, wherever you need to go, whether you're on the job or on the clock or not. So our next presentation is going to be from our Healthy Ride.
Hello, my name is Erin Potts. I'm from Pittsburgh Bike Share. We are the nonprofit that owns and operates the Healthy Ride system. And I'll start off by just saying that certainly accessibility, city health, and sustainability are big parts of our nonprofit mission. And we see biking as a way that people do actually want to at least use partly in their daily commute, but maybe don't want to bring their bicycle everywhere with them, don't have a bicycle. And really, bike sharing is a way to get from point A to point B. While certainly recreation is a bit implicit in what we do want to create a better transportation system in the city of Pittsburgh that allows people to use human-powered modes of transportation to get around. So I'll introduce you to kind of how the system works. I know a lot of people see the stations out and about. We have 50 stations, 500 bikes around the city, and almost have all of our stations up and loaded at this time. And you can check the active list on our webpage, which is just healthyridepgh.com. But the first thing you need to do is you have to register, which is something people want to walk up to a bike and take it and go. And there's going to be about a 5-minute process of actually entering in your personal information, getting your payment information in there as well, so that not only are you covered under liability and insurance, but then you also don't have to enter a mode of payment every time you're walking up to a kiosk or a bicycle. So if you are at all interested in using the bike share system, I'd encourage you to just sign up at your leisure so that when it does come time that you want to go out and take a ride, you already have that information entered in, and it's much simpler once you get to a kiosk and find yourself wanting to take out a bike. So you can do that via our website, via our app, which is called Next Bike, which is our system provider. Next Bike has brought bike share to over 80 countries over in Europe and Asia. We're their first United States installation. So Next Bike is where we get our app from and all of their software. And once you actually have the Next Bike app, you can use Next Bike in other cities. So if you find yourself in Dubai or Glasgow, you can bike share at will. So yes, you have to register, but once you're registered, there are multiple different ways that you can access a bike, and it's really whatever suits you. If you don't have a smartphone, you can just use your telephone number and the PIN code that you're assigned at registration, enter that in onto the back of the bike, it unlocks, and you go on your way. If you have the app, I highly encourage you to use the QR code reader because you never have to remember numbers again. And it's a wonderful thing. You just walk up, scan the code on the back of the bicycle that you want to take, and it unlocks, and you go. And we also have the kiosks as well if you kind of want to walk up to something and actually do something on a larger screen. You can do that as well. And it's, again, just entering in your phone number and PIN code, and you're good to go. And then you take it for a ride and return it to any of the other stations around Pittsburgh. So it's pretty simple. This is a map of where our stations are located in our first round. We do see expansion as part of our plan. Bike shares show great success when there is density in the neighborhoods that they are already present, but it's also part of our mission to reach out into different areas of Pittsburgh as well. So we do see this as the initial round, and we are constantly receiving recommendations for new station locations on the daily, and we are recording those, and at the end of the summer, our first season up and running, we will be soliciting public feedback for suggested station locations. But this is our representation so far, so we're north side, south side, both flats. Heavy density up in the East Liberty, Shady Side area, Oakland, downtown, and then of course we'll go up, we're up in Lawrenceville, Bloomfield as well. So we cover about 12 different neighborhoods in our initial round. That's lumping Oakland into all one area. There are so many Oaklands. But yeah, so you've probably seen these stations. There's one, right across the street over there. But a standard station has 19 docks, and that would be balanced with about 10 bikes. That way it's accounting for if there's an influx of riders coming to the station and no one's really taking bikes from that station. But our largest stations are 35 docks, and those are over by the stadiums on the North Shore Trail and at the Consol Energy Center, so larger event spaces. Bike share is a popular means of getting to large events like sporting events. So they are solar powered. The solar power on the top of the kiosk powers a battery that's inside of the kiosk. Now we certainly recognize that we will see some cloudy days here in the Burgh, and we can recharge the batteries manually. But during the summer, we don't anticipate needing to do that very often. There's a great charge, it'll hold a good charge. So there is no wiring to the kiosk itself from the ground or anything like that. They're also not tied down to any of their locations, but they're incredibly heavy and very difficult to move. So they stay put. So the bicycle itself, we were able to get our weight down and our gear ratio up from other bike shares. These bikes are heavy bikes. They're cruiser style. They're meant for a lot of different users and usage during the day. So they're going to be a little bit heavier. There's also a lot of technology inside of the bike, and that certainly increases the weight. So they're about 37 pounds, and we have 7 gears. That's more than any other bike share in the world. They typically cap out at about 3 gears. So based on our Pittsburgh hills, we were able to get that up. Lights are equipped on all of the bikes, both the front and the back, and they are also powered by the wheels spinning. So it generates its own energy for the lights that are on the bikes. There's a bell for other safety reasons, and all of the bikes are GPS enabled. So we actually get to see where these bikes are. This is the back panel of the bike, which I kind of referenced before, that you would walk up to and either scan that QR code with your cell phone, or you can use the keypad on the back to enter in your phone number and PIN code. So once you're actually in the system, there's really no need to walk up to a kiosk. There are maps at the kiosk on the screen, so those maps will show you where to go. Those maps are not available on the bikes. But really, once you get used to the system, it's just about walking up to the bike, entering in your information, and taking the bike and going. The customer service line is also listed on the back of the bike, as well as our website, so that if you have comments, we're really encouraging people to make comments. This is, we had our soft launch on May 31st and debuted 8 stations, and have slowly brought more and more stations available online. And we do consider our soft launch period. Every bike share has some system technology glitches at the front, but we have almost all of them fixed already, and that's because we've received great feedback from our users. So using that customer service line and website are really helpful for us. One of the reasons that we chose Nextbike as a system provider is because of their experience with bike shares and their constant energy to upgrade their bicycles. So our bikes are the first bikes to offer this internal cable locking mechanism that you can pull up to, say, the East End Food Co-op, which is where this is, and there's no station right there. So you just want to run in, grab a sandwich, the juice bar, which is one of my favorite places, and come back out and take the bike and go. So you're not really going and spending a whole lot of time, but you want to be able to lock the bike up. You can lock the bike to itself by entering the cable lock through that front fork there, which she is doing now. It locks up, you come back, you enter in your PIN code, unlock the bike, and you can go on your way. And by inserting this lock, people are constantly, couldn't someone just come and take it? These are really heavy bikes. When the front wheel is disabled, it's very difficult to move them. And again, it's not really meant to leave it for long periods of time. You're just running in and running an errand. But this also solves the issue that some bike shares have had when you pull up to a station and it's full. So on those, you're going over to see a Pirates game and that 35 dock station is still full because everyone's decided they wanted to take bike share to the ball game. You can actually lock the bike to itself near the kiosk, call customer service and let them know that the bike is there. And since they are all GPS enabled, they can see that, and you can leave the bike there. So you don't have to ride around looking for an open dock at other stations, which is also a very nice feature. There are always questions, and so I look forward to answering questions at the end. One thing that is not in this presentation is the pricing structure. It's $2 per 30 minutes. Again, these are meant to be pretty quick trips and are based on other public transportation pricing in the area. So point A to point B. Otherwise, if you're looking to use the system more than a handful of times every month, we do offer monthly rates, unlimited 30-minute rides for $12 and unlimited 60-minute rides for $20 a month. So it is a pretty inexpensive way to get around town if you would consider it as part of your daily commute. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Another great option. So the next time you're locked out of your car or you have an emergency, or if maybe your car just won't start in the morning, you can bike share, you can Uber, you can Lyft, or you can take the Port Authority, who is next.
Hi, my name is Deborah Skillings. I'm with Port Authority. One of the things that you have or you're familiar with is the Connect card. The Connect card is a new reloadable, reusable card that is available for anyone now who wants to buy a monthly, weekly pass or just put cash on there. First thing that we suggest that when you get the card is to register the card. The That registration will help for what we call balance protection. Balance protection is if the card is lost or stolen or damaged, anything that's on the card will be replaced. Currently, it is at no fee. Now there is a public comment period that is open that Port Authority is looking to charge a fee for, for the replacement of the cards and for the cards as well. Inside here, we have different ways of reloading the card. Some of the new ways that we have is an online web portal that you're able to reload the card in the privacy of your home or office. If you don't want to do that, we have vending machines that are in and around the downtown area, somewhere close to the T stations, and some our office up on the third floor of the Heinz building. Or the next place you can go is Giant Eagle or one of the other outlets that we have for you to reload your card. Like I said, you can put cash on the card. Say, for example, you're not a real true rider, you're an occasional rider, you can put any amount of money on the card from 5 cents up to $200. Then the card does not expire. If you do that on our card, what we have is called electronic transfer. This is some new technology that's offered to Port Authority, that's offered to our riders, which means that once you receive your card, you put cash on there, you tap the card for a ride. If you go to the second vehicle, then you tap the card. It's only taking off the amount that was considered the transfer amount. See, before you used to have to ask for a transfer. They gave you a paper transfer, which you used and you carried around for 3 hours. Now with the Connect card, when you tap, what I say, the vehicle, there's an orange bar on the vehicle, which is shown here. The orange bar on the vehicle here, we consider tap the card. A lot of times we swipe the card when we do our credit cards. This one is actually tap the card. You can use this card on any of our, throughout our system, the bus rails or the incline. Okay, so when you ever get on the vehicle, you just walk up, tap the card, and it will deduct the ride. Like our paper passes, if you have a monthly pass, you still can use this unlimited rides. It's monthly, weekly, and once again, you make the decision economically which card you would like to use, which one you would like to purchase, monthly or weekly. Just because they are monthly or weekly, the monthly starts the first day of the month to the last day of the month, and then the weekly is from the Sunday to Saturday. Okay? Some of the other things that we have at Port Authority. I do have pamphlets just about for everything. I'll get that. I have pamphlets for just about anything as we go along. One of the pamphlets I do have is our park and ride. We do have that, that pamphlet here. And once again, the park and ride, when you say that it's a location, some are owned by Port Authority and some are not managed by us.